Hello, Anthony Chadwick from the Webinar Vets. Just wanted to tell you a bit about our marvelous, fantastic virtual congress that is going to be happening end of January, beginning of February. So, just changing slides. We had 6,000 people at the last virtual congress. We're hoping to have many thousands. This virtual congress, it is the largest online veterinary congress. I think this will be the 8th time that we run it. And it goes live on the 1st of February 2020. And of course, everything is live, it's recorded, you'll get to see it at your own leisure over the following 12 months. At the moment, our current early bird price is £97. That means that CPD is costing about £6, and we are aiming to get everything race accredited, which is the American accreditation system for vets in America. If you're in the UK or Europe, of course, you don't need race accreditation. And we've got some fabulous speakers from across the world over many different veterinary fields, which I think is going to be absolutely amazing. So people like John Chitty, an expert in exotic medicine, ex-BSAVA president, Stephen White, one of my dermatology gurus from UC Davis. We've got Luca Ferrison on cardiology, Livia Benato also on exotics, Neil Forbes, another exotics vet, and Martha Cannon, who's very famous along with Susan Little for cat medicine. Yola Kipperstein is an ex-WSAVA president. But as well as having the veterinary content, we're also getting some real inspirational speakers this time, because we recognize that vets need help on inspiring them, on helping them to become more resilient, less stress-free. So we've asked really some top people to come and speak to us. People like Kenton Cool, one of the finest alpine climbers of his generation. He's actually been up Everest 18 times. And, you know, is an amazing man, and we're really incredibly fortunate to have him at the virtual congress. Here we're giving you a glimpse of what it's like to live at 8,000 meters, where that strong leadership is really important. It's almost critical for survival, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's got to say. We've also got Ben Fogel, again talking about his work in the wilderness, what he's learned from living in the wild. He's also the son of a veterinary surgeon, so I think that he's going to be really interesting as well. Well known on television, certainly in the UK as well. And then Rob Pope, who I actually used to look after his pets before he was a vet. He went to the same school as me, albeit he's a bit younger, and I used to look after his mum and his pets. He's become famous as the vet who's followed Forrest Gump running across America. And he's going to talk a little bit about some of those life lessons he's learned. You know, that amazing stamina to run across and back America. He is going to have some really interesting stories to tell us, I'm sure, about resilience and sticking at things. Here's the webinar schedule. We've got even Ivan Krotas is going to be speaking about dental extractions. I'm not going to go over all of these. This starts at midnight on the Saturday morning, because we obviously run this conference for vets throughout the world. 12 o'clock in the morning in the UK is obviously, you know, mid-morning in Australia. It's Friday night in Canada and America. So there's some fantastic talks. Kenton is going to be speaking at about 7 in the morning. But all of these, as I say, will be recorded. You can watch them at your leisure. Similarly, at 9:30, we've got John Chitty, who's going to be talking about the BSAVA mentoring scheme, how that's helped to settle young vets into the profession and, you know, keep them there. We know that we have a problem, you know, keeping vets within the profession, and the BSAVA have put together this mentoring scheme, and we'll hear more about that in that webinar. Perfectionism, lots of vets and vet students struggle with this. It can be a blessing, it can also be a curse. So Andrew Hill will be talking more about that. And then a mix of large and small animal CPD. We've got Emily Haggett, spoken to us before, particularly about the neonatal and the foal medicine. And obviously she's going to be doing that again at the conference. 3 o'clock, Ben Fogel comes on. We've got John Hill, fantastic Northern Irish vet, who's going to be talking about honeybees. Stephen White at 9:30 speaking about the Paritic horse. And of course, Susan Little is a very famous cat vet based in North America, who will be speaking about how I approach urethral obstruction in the cat. And then Rob Pope will be closing the conference with his talk, Be More Forest, at 11 o'clock in the evening. Of course, not everybody's going to stay up. You can watch that at your leisure. Also this year, do please tell your Spanish and Spanish-speaking friends, we are going to be running a 6-hour Spanish stream alongside some of these webinars. So another language coming in to the virtual Congress as well. I'm thrilled to tell you that we also have a free event which is happening on the Friday night. This is looking particularly at rabies. Now, I know I'm based here in the UK, and we're very, very fortunate that we don't have rabies here. However, there is still tens of thousands of people each year who die of rabies simply because they're bitten by a rabid dog. Often they can't afford the treatment, the injections that they have to have for that, and consequently, pretty much 100% of them die pretty unpleasant deaths. And the World Health Organization has set a target to actually free us of this scourge of human death by 2030, and this is very much a One Health approach, whereby the dog is the major cause of rabies spread to humans. And we're very fortunate to have MSD, who've sponsored this event for us, to really help us to understand, how we can bring that disease under control. Sarah Cleveland, very famous vet, involved in some of the amazing work in Africa on trying to reduce diseases like rabies amongst animals, the domesticated animals and live animals in Africa. And we've also got a Spanish stream being delivered on the Saturday with a rabies lecture delivered by Sergio Recuenco. Rabies is much less of a problem now in Central and South America because of some of the great work that they've been doing, and we're going to learn about that. Now, you could say as a vet who never sees rabies, there's no interest in this event, but I'm sure there's not many who will think in that way, because this is a truly important disease, and we never know, hopefully, that will never happen, but we never know if that disease could come into the UK as well. So I would ask you to support that. It is free thanks to the kind sponsorship of MSD, and the link is there, and I know we'll put that link into the chat box, or Dawn will, for you to have a look at. And we can also, if this is a recording, put them underneath the recordings. These are just some of the vets who've commented on the CPD that we provide, the virtual Congress. It really is well received by people. It's the cost is very, very sensible, which I'll go over shortly, and it makes CPD just so affordable. We know that traveling to courses, hotels. I'm going to a conference tomorrow. It's €300 for one day. So conferences are not cheap. But by digitalizing things, we can make this much more affordable. And the good news is anybody who buys a ticket will also have the option to donate a ticket to a vet in a developing country. If you know of somebody, please tell us, and we can make sure they get the ticket in the developing country. or we will be donating those through the auspices of WSAVA and some other organisations that will help us in those distributions, as well as to some of our own community who live in countries where, you know, to pay for CPD is incredibly difficult. So the ticket price until the 30th of September at 5 p.m, ticket price for 16 hours plus is only £97. This is, you know, a fabulous price plus VAT. And I would encourage you to buy before the 30th, because after the 30th, the price will go up to £147. So it really is worth taking action now. The early bird captures the worm. You know, this is, even with the 147 price, this is half the price that I will be charged for probably going to about 5 or 6 hours of CPD tomorrow at my conference, which is happening in Liverpool. Luckily, I don't have any costs for accommodation or for transport, which would, of course, significantly increase the cost of that. So £97 until 5 p.m. on Monday. That's, of course, 5 p.m. British summertime. As a special treat, if you buy a ticket for VC2020 before the 30th of September, I will give you a free ticket for our fantastic mindfulness course that ran earlier on in the year. I think we priced that up at £40 plus VAT. So another amazing saving. This was presented by Mike Scanlon. Mike is loved by many in our community. Many thousands of vets and nurses have done training with him through the webinar vet. And I actually followed this course earlier on in the year, and I found it really interesting and enjoyable. But as a special extra bonus, we're also going to offer you a month's free unlimited membership of the site. This would cost £75 plus VAT. I want you to have a look at the site because I think the site is amazing. Of course, if you are already a member of the webinar vet, then you don't actually have to pay for a virtual congress ticket because that is free as part of your membership. So an amazing deal for those who are already platinum members. Please don't buy another ticket because you don't need to, but please do tell your friends about it who perhaps aren't members. They will get a free ticket, and they'll also get a little peep under the bonnet of Webinar Vet to enjoy some of those hours over the month of October. So, you know, I set up Webinar Vet to make veterinary CPD accessible and affordable to vets across the world. Since then, people have done many thousands of hours on the site. We have, you know, a community of tens of thousands, and I really hope that you'll take this opportunity to invest in yourself to see this, because the content, I promise you, will be absolutely amazing. And if you are not stunned by it, please tell me. We'll buy your ticket back off you. So I can't make it any better than that. I would encourage you to get in on the act before the 30th of September. The price will go up then to 147, and we'd love to see you at the conference. Some of our global partners, global sponsors: Breathe Easy, IVC are our platinum partner. We've got Burgess, the pet food company, producer of pet food. MSD, you know, amazing sponsorship to help us to really push that message about rabies. You know, this is a disease that we should not still have in 2019. Let's hope that with real hard work from all of us, for us all to work on this as vets, we have a responsibility to it, that, you know, maybe we can help to eradicate this disease in the next 10 years. And then MWI also very kindly sponsored it, obviously one of our major wholesalers in the UK. Thank you for watching. Any questions, please tap them in, email us, and we will, of course, get back to you with those in the next day or so. Don't forget, early bird ticket offer finishes at 5 p.m. on 30th of September. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a fabulous conference. Do tell your friends. We'd love to be able to give you the opportunity of this fabulous CPD, both clinical, or also personal development with people like Kent and Rob and Ben along. I'm sure it's going to be a massively amazing experience. So do come along, and I will look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, please enjoy the free month of unlimited membership so that you can watch some webinars before the 1st of February. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.